Hey guys, Dr. Kahu here, welcome back to my channel. Now today I'm going to be doing a continuation to the what if that was suggested to me by the bro Shadow ThunderGod, thank you bro. And that what if is, what if Naruto was a speedster? Part 2. Now as usual guys, if you guys can please like and subscribe, leave your comments down below, leave the bell notification on so you guys can be the first to get my new content, and follow me on my other two channels as well guys if you guys can, Dr Kahu Gaming and Dr Kahu Explained, to which I'll be bringing out a video on both of those two channels this week, okay guys? And not only that guys, bear in mind when it comes to a lot of my older what ifs that I haven't continued or am discontinuing, bear in mind that a lot of that's going to be happening. I'll be putting in the chats and all that stuff, and I'll be doing new polls and new votes for other videos, okay guys? And bear in mind a lot of other videos we made as well. So yeah, I hope you guys are all caught up, and I hope you guys are all taking care of yourselves, okay? But without further ado guys, let's get into this next part of this what if, and that is, what if Naruto was a speedster? Part 2. Now let's begin. So as usual guys, we're going to do a brief recap on what happened previously, and then we'll jump into this new part, okay guys? So I hope you guys like it. Now when we last left off, Naruto and Sasuke were both on the Taz in the bridge at this present time, fighting against Haku, because bear in mind, both Naruto and Sasuke were the reason why Zabuza is dead in the first place. And if you want to know what happened, watch part 1, and you'll figure out what on that part, okay? But anyway, where I actually last left off is Haku turned everything to ice, and he pretty much forced Kakashi to hurt himself to save himself. And not only that, when it came down to it fully, it was up to Naruto and Sasuke to do the job. And as Naruto and Sasuke are pretty good at dodging all of Haku's attacks, it's when Haku chucks a massive spike through Sasuke's, at Naruto, but Sasuke reacted and protected Naruto. And in such, he gets impaled. Now Sasuke can heal thanks to the Hashirama cells that are in his body amping him up, but not to the degree where it looks like it's fully saving him. So when Naruto sees this and he sees Sasuke down and out, he goes full like reverse flash mode. Naruto's eyes turn red, Naruto's body begins to vibrate, and Naruto's chakra just explodes around him. So Naruto looks like a version of the reverse flash, and if you don't know what that is, check that out too on Google or YouTube. But now that you guys all got a recap, let's continue with the next what if, okay? So let's begin. Everyone is tense, everyone around them. Kakashi looks at Naruto. He's never seen Naruto this angry. Sasuke looks at Naruto, even though he's in such immense pain and he's healing, he's looking at Naruto, he can't believe it. Now Sasuke has had a brief run-in with the Nine Tails before, and if you guys want to know about that, check out part 1. I'll leave the link in the description. But what ends up going down is Sasuke had an early interaction with the Nine Tails where he understands Naruto has a monster beneath him in his body, you know. But seeing Naruto's monstrous lightning of speed abilities merge with this god-awful monster that Sasuke is actually afraid of, what ends up going down is Naruto is looking like a beast. He looks like a Super Saiyan, but not. His hair is still like, yeah, but the chakra around him, everything's flowing around him. Naruto's not saying nothing, his body's just vibrating out of phase. And when Haku reveals himself, in a blink of an eye, Naruto instantly appears and hits Haku's ice mirror, destroying it immediately. Luckily, Haku was able to retain himself within the mirror and jump to another one. But this is to little or no effect, because Naruto is moving so fast and at such high velocity speeds. Even if Haku was to make his ice mirrors in the sky, Naruto, much like how Micah does, can pretty much run on air, kicking the air himself. Naruto has pretty much made himself a foothold. He's not technically flying, but he's pretty much running on thin air, quite literally. And as Haku tries to make multiple ice mirrors to get away or to get an advantage over Naruto, as fast as they make it, Naruto destroys them all. Catching himself, jumping back and leaping in the air, destroyed everything. Haku is putting everything he can, you know, because, well, he's lost everything, and Zabuza was his everything. And so Haku's putting everything he can on hurting Naruto, but as he does so, Naruto's just getting faster and faster and faster and faster and faster, to the point where Naruto's orange his natural look disappears entirely. Haku loses sight, and as he loses sight, Naruto appears in front of him, punches Haku right in the face, out of the mirror, sends him flying onto the ground, and even before Haku hits the ground, Naruto is already on the ground standing beneath him, and he pretty much does what Goku does to Nappa. When Goku lifts his hands up and breaks Nappa's back, Naruto does the same thing, but he jumps. And as Haku falls, Naruto has a kunai. And that kunai has massive lightning chakra, well, the speed force and his own chakra emitting through it. And he jumps in and he impales Haku right through his body. But not just impales him, using the speed and his own strength now, Naruto moves really fast and splits Haku into two. before Haku even noticed it, and Haku hits the ground. His guts everywhere, his body's all torn up, he's absolutely livid. And he doesn't even realize that he just got cut in two. Until he turns around and sees his legs is gone, he's bleeding out, and he's starting to feel weak. And as he looks up, Kakashi and Sasuke see a different type of Naruto. Naruto stands there, he turns around, boom, Naruto starts to look like a demon, like popping in and out, like a blurry red black shadow here and there, like really scaring Haku, like putting real fear in him. Haku's in extreme pain, and Naruto's just doing what Levi did to the giant Titan. That if you watch the Attack on Titan, you understand when Levi goes to his god mode because his team gets killed. Much like that, Naruto does the same thing. He just disappears, and he just dismantles Haku so much so that when Naruto finishes him, Naruto jumps in the air, and as Naruto launches down, he smashes his fist right through Haku's face, destroying the entire area, using the Speed Force to amplify him. Naruto completely craters the area, killing Haku, like splitting him like nothing. And as Naruto stands up, he looks at his hands. And when Naruto looks at his head, at first he feels some form of gratification, and then Naruto feels this deep regret, and then sorrow, and he falls out of the monstrous form. The Nine-Tails Chakra that leaked through got instantly barred by the Speed Force. Even though the Nine-Tails was able to interact with the Speed Force within Naruto, he has no governed control. It's all Naruto's power. And so when Naruto finally gains his senses, the entire Speed Force barrier pushes the Nine-Tails fully back even harder. The Nine-Tails mutters in anger, but he knows he can't do nothing. He's fighting a war pretty much. And so as the Nine-Tails looks through, Naruto wakes up and he realizes what he did, and then he looks over at Sasuke, he speeds over to Sasuke, and Naruto's panicking. Sasuke is meant to heal even faster. Sasuke looks at Naruto and goes, "Don't worry, I can heal, idiot." And Naruto looks at him and goes, "Nah." And he tells him to get over his posturing. He hates that Naruto hates that he's doing that. And Naruto grabs Sasuke and he goes, "Where's the nearest hospital?" Now Sasuke didn't realize that he actually bled out more than he thought. He thought his Hashirama cells would heal him enough, but it wasn't to the degree that he hoped. Now, if you put the Hashirama cells in Naruto, his body will heal even faster, because Naruto is a reincarnation of Hashirama, as you know, and that's just my form of speculation. But with Sasuke, he doesn't have that right amount of Hashirama cells to heal, or be balanced fully, or even you'll see soon. And so when Naruto rushes Sasuke to the nearest hospital, Naruto's like, "Can you do something?" And they say that they can, but their doctor is about a couple of hours away. And Naruto's like, "What? A couple of hours away?" And his eyes are sparkling with yellow lightning. He's like, he doesn't know what he can do. He's like, Sasuke, if he keeps going like this, like his chakra's gonna run out. He's gonna bleed out. He's gonna die. He can't cauterize the wound because it's too much of a massive wound. And so, what goes down is Naruto immediately looks at all the medical books that are there, and Naruto he doesn't even hesitate. Naruto makes 10 shadow clones, and using the Speed Force with the 10 shadow clones, they speed through all the books, all the medical journals, everything, but a good 5 times each. And so Naruto goes through all of them. Like he doesn't care. It doesn't matter. All that is to do is he needs to push himself to the max to save Sasuke. And as Naruto does that, it takes him about 10-15 minutes, but he reads all the books properly to understand. Okay, he reads the books instantly, or nearly instantly, to the normal untrained eye. However, it takes Naruto 10 minutes in his Speed Force time to actually ascertain and understand what he's learning. And so after Naruto fully finishes everything, he takes a brief 5-minute rest. He instantly recharges himself, put it in a sense. He gets into it, and the doctors try to tell Naruto, "No, you're not qualified, blah blah blah, you done this, not this." Naruto doesn't care. Naruto instantly just speeds them out of the room. Naruto has the shadow clones, and they begin to, in a sense, quickly operate. They knock Sasuke out involuntarily, and Naruto begins to pretty much seal up the wound. So then they wait for the doctor. And by the time Naruto's finished, the doctor arrives, and he's trying to prepare himself, but Naruto's already finished. Sasuke's wound's closed. And Naruto pretty much has pushed himself to such great heights that he's more than enough to rival a lot of people at this present time. Not Tsunade yet, but still soon, okay? Naruto will get there and you'll see soon. We're back on the Tenshi Bridge. Kakashi's still standing there with Sakura and Tazuna, and they're actually baffled. Kakashi walks over to Haku and he just sees that Haku's just destroyed. That this is a punch from Naruto. But even Sakura can't believe it. Tazuna's like, he apologizes for putting these kids down. He can't believe it. But Kakashi is actually taken aback and actually a little bit scared in the sense when it comes to Naruto. What if Naruto loses control again? This could be them. This could be him. It could be Sasuke. It could be anyone. But then as much as Kakashi thinks about it, he wipes it away from his mind immediately and goes, No, this is Naruto's family. He wouldn't do that. Look at that. He went out of his way to save Sasuke. Kakashi burns that out of his mind immediately. And Sakura is very grateful for Naruto. And so when Gato and his men appear, it's not a good thing. It's really not a good thing. Kakashi pretty much took himself out of the fight early, and he's chomping at the bit to get at these guys, eh? And when he finds out it was Gato that sent these men and they go to attack, Kakashi goes, huh, didn't think I would need to do this, but he pulls out a scroll and he summons the Executioner Blade, and he goes to have himself some fun. Kakashi warns them once, and Gato's men don't heed the warning, and so as they rush, unfortunately for them, they all get wiped out by Kakashi. Kakashi rushes in there and boom! Speed rushes all of them with the Executioner Blade, destroying all their weapons, taking them all down. And as Kakashi finishes off the last of Gato's men, Gato tries to speak, but without hesitating, Kakashi instantly does the Lightning Blade with the Executioner Blade, chopping Gato right in half, exploding his body. And as Kakashi drops the blade down and wipes it, he thinks about it and he goes, this would actually be a really good blade for me. Like, Kakashi looks at it, would be really good for me. But then he thinks about it and he goes, no, that kid Naruto's right. He puts the Executioner Blade back, he seals it back up and states this weapon was made for killing and this weapon is not made for Konoha. And so what goes down is, as Kakashi and them head back, Tarzan and them, we're going to call the bridge the Great Kakashi Bridge. But Kakashi stops them there and states if it wasn't for Naruto, we'll all be dead. And so all Tarzan and all the villagers all agree. They go, right, you're absolutely right. And so the bridge becomes the Great Naruto Bridge. When Kakashi goes to see Naruto and Sasuke at the hospital, Kakashi sees like, oh, you managed to get Sasuke on time with the doctors, and Naruto goes, no, I performed surgery. Kakashi looks at Naruto like, what? But how, Naruto? And then of course he explains what he did, and then Kakashi smiles and goes, oh, so you heed my advice after all. Oh, well done, Naruto. Kakashi goes, I'm actually quite impressed. It's blown Kakashi's mind that Naruto actually learnt how to save Sasuke in that time he was gone. And so they all have a brief catch up. Sasuke heals actually really well after Naruto pretty much saved him. And from there they begin to walk. Naruto begins to question Sasuke, go, why did you save me? Why did you? And Sasuke looks at Naruto but doesn't say nothing. And Naruto goes, Sasuke? And Sasuke goes, what's that matter? You're alive, aren't you? That's all that matters. And Naruto goes, it matters because you sacrificed your life to save me. It matters because the arrogant prick I remember about a month ago wouldn't have done it. So why did you do it, Sasuke? And Sasuke goes, I don't know, my body reacted. And then Naruto looks at Sasuke, and Naruto realizes that he's been giving Sasuke way too much, putting Sasuke in way too much of a pressure point to, like, in Sasuke's mind anyway. Naruto sees it, that Sasuke's goal is to become stronger than Naruto, but Naruto's kind of setting like an impossible task for Sasuke in that regards. And so instead of working individually, Naruto thinks to himself, maybe they can work together to become stronger. Who knows, we can even help Sakura. And Naruto just tells Sasuke he thanks him. And Sasuke smiles and looks forward and goes, I'm quite impressed actually. How were you able to save me anyway? And Naruto goes, reading's easy. After Kakashi Sensei gave me that massive book and I had to learn how to speed read it, everything else became easy. Sasuke goes, so you retain all your information? Naruto goes, yeah, so far, yeah. To be honest, I haven't forgotten everything I learned, actually. And Sasuke smiles. And as they get back to the village, Kakashi just states that all three of you are ready for the Chunin exams, even you, Sakura. You did the job, you stayed by Tazuma, even when a life-threatening situation was coming, you stood your ground. Sasuke and Naruto, you guys are beyond any genin I've ever seen, even compared to my own self. Naruto, you're the fastest person I've ever seen in my life, and the fourth Hokage was my sensei. Sasuke, you're the most powerful Uchiha I've ever seen, and Itachi was my little protege. And Yombu, and Sasuke looks at Kakashi. Be proud in the fact that you both have surpassed your predecessors. And you both are in the same team. I am very grateful to be your sensei, and if you guys don't mind, I'm going to submit you guys to the Chunin exams. Sasuke and Naruto look at each other, Sakura's like excited, and Sasuke probably smiles. Feeling that warm in his heart, knowing that Sasuke is actually not in Itachi's shadow no more, but above it. And this kind of stems Sasuke's need to want to get his revenge on Itachi right away, but they'll play a factor. So anyway, after they get back, Kakashi has a lot to report to the third Hokage. Sasuke, Naruto, and Sakura begin to hang out more. Even Sasuke gets over himself, put in a life and death situation. Naruto kind of saved him, and he saved him. So it was a mature situation. But what goes down is Kakashi goes to see the third Hokage and explains everything. He explains about Sasuke and his healing factor and all that stuff that Danzo pretty much put him through, but he can't explain. And that he's correct, that is a sealing tag on Sasuke's mouth. When the third Hokage hears this, he knows that he needs to go and investigate. And if they're going to use those enhancements on Sasuke, then it would be good if they used it on you too. And Kakashi goes, what do you mean? The third Hokage knows exactly what Danzo is doing, but he needs his best friend still. He still needs Danzo at this present time. And so the third Hokage makes a visit to Danzo. He lands right in the middle of a route, and Danzo walks forward and goes, Lord Third, didn't expect you to be here. Didn't expect you to visit at all. And he goes, I came as a friend, Danzo. Danzo smiles and goes, well, here is, and I welcome you as a friend. They both smile and they walk on, and then they have a tea with each other in the route. And this is when the third Hokage gets to the thick of it. He goes to him. The enhancements you put on Sasuke, though I'm not happy about it, they have really shown to be very useful for the village. Danzo looks at the third Hokage and he goes, before you speak, Danzo, let me finish. The only reason why I'm not happy about this is you didn't consult me. At the same time though, it worked out in your favor. I request one thing, and one thing only. And if you could do this for me, my old friend, I can overlook this. And he goes, overlook what? And he goes, overlook the fact that you tried to assassinate me using Yamato. And the third Hokage instantly freezes, Danzo instantly freezes in his spot, like thinking, how does he know? And then after the third Hokage says that to Danzo, the third Hokage goes, but I'm able to, I'll easily whitewash this, my old friend, if you allow for the augmentation you gave to Sasuke Uchiha to be allowed on Kakashi Hatake. He looks right at the third Hokage and he goes, Kakashi is one of our most valuable Jonings. You're not going to deny that, right? And Danzo goes, yes, you're absolutely right. He is one of our most valued Chonin. And then Danzo smiles and goes, very well. I will deliver your request. Have him meet here in our medical facilities, and from there we can continue with the process. Third Hokage agrees and states that he'll leave Yamato with Kakashi just as backup, but he'll trust that Danzo will stick to the agreement. Danzo smiles and he bows his head to the third Hokage. Third Hokage walks out and turns and goes, thank you, old friend. And as the third Hokage walks out, he disappears into smoke, and Danzo goes, a shadow clone. And so Kakashi pretty much goes through there. So as the Chunin exams are about to begin and everything, Kakashi disappears for a day. And where he disappears, he gets grafted with some Hashirama cells, infused into his eye, orbital Sharingan, and his own body himself. Now Danzo didn't put as much as he has on himself, but he does put a lot on. So Kakashi doesn't have as much chakra or Hashirama cells as Danzo has, but Kakashi has more than Sasuke. And because Kakashi had the Hashirama cells grafted directly inside the Sharingan, or the cells and infused into the Sharingan, it's going to take some time for Kakashi to adapt and heal to it, if you get what I mean. And so Kakashi himself stays Kakashi, and he wears his eye patch, but for the next couple of days or so, Kakashi's on the terms of healing, in a sense, okay? Recovering from the operation. Now Danzo, as the third Hokage wanted, what's it called? Danzo released Kakashi with no ill will, no hush, no fuss. Helped Kakashi did exactly what third Hokage needed. And then from there, what goes down is Sasuke continues his training with Danzo, and he continues to train with Naruto and Sakura as well. Naruto himself knows that he needs to focus on Sakura. He knows that the focus needs to be on Sakura. And so when Kakashi is trying to train Sakura, Naruto finds out that Kakashi is trying to train Sakura in the ways of Genjutsu, because in a sense she's a Genjutsu type. And so Naruto remembers all the books he's read up on Genjutsu and all that stuff, and he proceeds to help Sakura, tell Sakura to Genjutsu shadow clones and utilize them in battle. And over a period of time, she starts to become really good at illusion crafts, in illusion jutsu. But Naruto himself, his cup is like his plate's already full. He needs to learn more. Naruto wants to understand, so he asks Kakashi, what's his chakra nature type, blah blah blah. And at first Kakashi thought it was lightning style because of Naruto's lightning energy rushing off his body. But when Naruto holds the paper, it splits in two. And this is when Kakashi goes, wind style. Alright. And so as Naruto begins to experiment using wind styles, much like he does in canon, he goes to Asuma, and Asuma teaches Naruto the difference between normal chakra in the chakra blade and wind amplified chakra. And when he shows it by throwing the kunai right through the tree into the stone, Naruto couldn't even put chakra to the tree. And so, in all cases on point, Naruto learns from Asuma earlier that you need to grind and sharpen against each other. When Naruto hears this aspect, he thanks Asuma Sensei and runs away. Asuma smiles when seeing how powerful this kid gets, you know. And so as Naruto disappears, he begins to understand. He goes, wind style is all about applying this and this and this, and he understands. He begins to focus. As Naruto is learning about this, what ends up going down is the Chunin exams have fully began, you know. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, all placed in the Chunin exams. They go through relative same things. However, the only big difference is Naruto's an extreme genius. And if you wanted to cheat in the test, no one will be able to see him. Not even Kakashi. Naruto has amplified his speed to that point where he looks like a blur to nearly everyone. Well, even like those with Sharingan. Naruto has pushed himself. Sasuke is getting really strong too. Sasuke is relatively the second fastest person in Konoha besides, well, in the sense of lower joning, okay? Sasuke is about low joning level, okay? He's not as fast as Kakashi, but he's pretty fast. A hell of a fast, you know? And so what goes down is Naruto, Sasuke, and Sakura begin to easily chop through the Chunin exams. Even when it comes to the Genjutsu, Naruto, Sakura, and Sasuke kind of laugh it off. Luckily for Naruto, he's been helping Sakura with the her Genjutsu, so she was able to easily dispel the entire Genjutsu of the room. And as they walk out, Sasuke goads them, and as they go to try to attack Sasuke turns with the bloodlust, like, I will kill you, which scares the Chunins. They're about to attack Sasuke, and Sasuke turns away, and then Rock Lee comes and tells Sasuke, you're the famous Sasuke Uchiha from the famous Uchiha clan, I'd like to challenge you. And on that, he tries to pledge his love to Sakura. Naruto looks at it, and he's quite impressed, and he actually sizes up Rock Lee. And so Sasuke agrees with the fight with Rock Lee, and as they go down, Sasuke is much more faster and stronger than Zen Cannon. And so as Rock Lee and Sasuke win the battle, it's actually quite even. Taijutsu, the ability to react, and not only that, Sasuke doesn't even have a Sharingan activated. That's how much Sasuke is way more improved than he is in canon. Sasuke doesn't use no jutsu whatsoever, and so he's able to go toe-to-toe with Rock Lee and Taijutsu up until the point where Sasuke stops the clash and manages to sweep Rock Lee. Rock Lee being a prodigy in fighting, he was able to spin around and manage to kick Sasuke back as well. And so it was an even match between the two until Rock Lee he goes, sorry Guy Sensei, but I have to do this. He was about to do the primary Lotus and all that stuff, and he was about to do the open the third gate. But Might Guy comes and steals the show and growls him. From there, the next part of the Chunin exams begins when it comes to the Forest of Death. Now, the Forest of Death is going to be, unfortunately, relatively easy for Naruto. Because he can be in so much places at once. It's more Naruto wants to use this time to train Sakura in battle, in real life, you know, like, because they need to be a strong team, and the only way to become a strong team is to work on their weakest link. And so when they go into the Forest of Death, everyone goes relatively the same. However, now Naruto is working with Sasuke and Sakura. Sasuke, he's more open to the idea of talking, as opposed to his canon counterpart, because he sees value in actually training with Naruto now, getting stronger. Naruto can give him something that not even Itachi can, and that's just more drive, you know. And so as Naruto and Sasuke and Sakura do the Forest of Death, they're being watched by Orochimaru. And so when Naruto states that he's going to go for a pee, they look at Naruto and they're about to tell him, well, we need a pass. When Naruto disappears and comes back in instantly, he goes, done. And Sasuke goes, we're about to say, Naruto, we need a password. Naruto goes, don't worry about it. We don't need a password. And they laugh about it, and then they go on their journey. Naruto immediately makes 100 shadow clones. They speed blitz the entire forest. And when Gaara sees all these Naruto clones and all that, he tries to defend himself. All of them try to defend it, but Naruto's just way too fast. He jumps around the sand like they're nothing. He jumps around all the other characters, and when he sees that Karin is about to get attacked by a bear, Naruto kicks that bear straight in the head, kicking it away, saving Karin. So it's Naruto that saves Karin, not Sasuke. And what also goes down is Naruto saves Hinata at the same time too. So Naruto using the Shadow Clones with the speed ability is very, very more useful. He's able to do more impact, make more of a lasting impression on others. Naruto grabs the scrolls of everyone and appears by the real Naruto with Sasuke and Sakura, and they give the scrolls and they disappear. And this is when Orochimaru comes. Naruto looks over and goes, I've noticed you were there the whole time. Why are you there anyway? What's your purpose? Orochimaru walks out and looks right at Naruto and goes, this brat is quite interesting, isn't he? And Naruto's like, huh? And Naruto goes, hey, you're the weird guy with the long tongue. Anyway, he comes over and he tries to be all innocent and play it off, but Naruto can't help but see the twitch in his eye, the unsettled movements, everything like that. And as Naruto analyzes, because Naruto did a lot of psycho evaluation, like he read every book in the Konoha library, meaning he would have learned a lot about psychology, body mannerisms, and all that stuff. So Naruto is on point, okay? So when he sees Orochimaru in the state, Naruto knows this guy is up to something. And he looks back at Sasuke and Sakura immediately. And the moment they see that, Sakura jumps away into the bush, while Sasuke stays behind, but Naruto goes, Sasuke! He goes, I could help you, Naruto. And he goes, Naruto goes, no, I don't think he's after me. Sasuke looks right at Naruto. Naruto looks right at Sasuke, and Sasuke immediately goes, he goes, all the better. Sasuke pulls out a kunai and puts lightning chakra on it. And Orochimaru licks his lip and goes, and here's me thinking this is going to be easy. Oh wait, it is. Boom! Orochimaru extends his hand, and his hand turns into multiple snakes about to attack Sasuke. But in a flash, Sasuke smiles, instantly cuts with his kunai, sending lightning charge through the snakes and cutting them all to pieces. Sasuke appears right by Orochimaru and goes to try to cut his head off. Orochimaru smiles, disappears like smoke, and bites Sasuke on the back of the neck instantly. But he grabs Sasuke's arms, and as Orochimaru bites Sasuke, he gives him the curse mark, but he ruthlessly slams Sasuke into the ground. Tells Sasuke that hurt what he did, but at the same time, he gave an easy opening for me. You shouldn't have. And as Sasuke burns on the ground, Orochimaru smiles, thinking he's won. Naruto appears and speed force punches Orochimaru. Orochimaru is able to just react fast enough to see the punch come. Because when the punch hits Orochimaru, he leaves the ground, hits the tree, he scatters across multiple trees actually, and he craters into one massive rock. When Orochimaru feels this, he laughs hard, hysterically coughing out blood. He can't believe it, another kid this powerful, another prodigy. He can't wait. Orochimaru instantly flees, he rips his mouth and he jumps straight out of his mouth, and he goes to rush to attack Naruto. And every time he attacks Naruto, Naruto just stuck in a dodging like it's nothing. And as Orochimaru misses, Naruto manages to throw multiple punches at Orochimaru, throws kunais, cutting Orochimaru badly. And this is, I don't know, Orochimaru holding back, by the way. And as Naruto is about to do a killing blow, Orochimaru sees it, he instantly amplifies his chakra to full power killing intent. He pushes Naruto away using his own aura. And as Naruto stands here, he holds his kunai, and it's like, and sweat goes down his head, like, what the? And Orochimaru goes, I must digress. You're one very fast kid. So fast in fact that I will even proclaim you to be the fastest I've ever seen. But that's not going to help you now, kid. And he goes, you piqued my interest only enough for me to be annoyed. Now face the consequence. And as Orochimaru goes to try to rush Naruto, Naruto goes, likewise. Yellow chakra emits from Naruto's eyes and lightning emits from his body. Naruto instantly starts to blitz it. Orochimaru does too, and they both start to clash everywhere. Blitz, everywhere, smashing across multiple trees. And to any form of likeness, everyone still thinks this is a hard battle. But for Orochimaru, he's enjoying himself. He's having the time of his life. And as he's fighting Naruto, he's speaking to Naruto. He's asking Naruto, what makes him defend Sasuke? What makes him defend the village? He wants to understand Naruto's motivation. Everything like that. Why someone so powerful and so talented like him will defend the village that hates him, despises him, loathes him, you know? And Naruto goes, I find value in friends, family. And Orochimaru goes, he did the same until he lost that friend, until he lost that family. And he was all alone again. Nothing but himself. And that's why he takes solace in books. And that's when Naruto stops with Orochimaru. And Naruto goes, that's the same thing he does, thanks to Kakashi Sensei. I've taken to the notion of reading books, and it's been the thing to keep me in check, in a sense, emotionally. And this is when Orochimaru states, he goes, that they drive you crazy to the point where you have to learn as much as you can. And Naruto goes, yes. And Orochimaru jumps back, lands on the tree on the other side, and Naruto lands down the bottom of the tree, but he holds on with his feet in his hand. And he looks up at Orochimaru and goes, you may not see it, kid, but me and you have a likeness. Like a likeness I haven't seen in no other. If you're keen to willing to learn, Naruto, willing to learn properly from an unbiased source, they don't want to use your power to gain like manipulation like that. No. If you truly want to learn Naruto, just let me know. Orochimaru gives a snake, and that snake transforms into like a form of like a mini shuriken in a sense. But that shuriken, once Naruto chucks it, will turn into the snake and go back to Orochimaru. To which it will give the invitation. That's the idea. When Naruto holds the kunai, he's about to chuck it away, but he goes, Naruto looks at it and he goes, if that's who I think it was, that was Orochimaru, one of the legendary Sanins, fabled to be one of the most powerful shinobi in Konoha history, besides the 4th Hokage, 2nd and 1st. Naruto holds it, puts the kunai in his pocket, and he realizes that it might come in handy. Naruto grabs Sasuke and they head off immediately. And this is when Naruto, after they pass the Forest of Death situation, what goes down is Naruto and Sasuke are standing there, you know? Well, Sasuke's on the ground and Sakura and Naruto are standing there. And as Naruto looks over to Sakura, Sakura goes, "What do we do, Naruto?" I don't know. Naruto goes, he can't heal Sasuke. Like he learned medical, not sealing jutsu. He didn't do any of this stuff, this curse marks or anything like that. But Naruto, what he does is he does the one thing he knows he's limited to. He knows one really weak seal, pretty similar to Kakashi's. And so Naruto does it, and it takes a while, but he manages to finish off the seal, and locks up the curse mark on Sasuke's neck, preventing it from fully taking control yet. Okay. But Naruto states the only way for this seal to be unbroken if Sasuke wants the power. Sakura goes, "But how is that simple?" Naruto goes, "I'm not that good at sealing jutsu, Sakura. My Uzumaki clan was the best at it, but it's not my talent, I'm guessing." She's like, "Oh, okay, Naruto." And so it goes down. Sasuke wakes up after his injury is being sealed. He looks at Naruto and goes, "Did you do this?" And Naruto goes, "Well, I sealed it, yes." And he goes, "Thanks, Naruto." Naruto smiles. He lifts up Sasuke and he goes, Sasuke goes, "Who the hell was that anyway?" Naruto goes, "Konoha's enemy, the third Hokage student himself, Orochimaru." Sasuke goes, "Orochimaru?" And he goes, "Yes, one of the 3 legendary Saiyans, Orochimaru, Tsunade, and Jiraiya. Jiraiya was my father's sensei, Tsunade was the first Hokage's granddaughter, and Orochimaru was from the Hidden Sound Village. That's all we know." And so what happens is Sasuke and Naruto begin to ponder, begin to understand, begin to learn and ascertain that they are so beneath. Naruto explained he had to give everything to him to try to fight Orochimaru because Orochimaru was pretty strong and fast, pretty strong. And so, after all the tests, they get to the point where it's the semi-finals. Now, as usual, we always know that Sakura vs Ino, that goes relative in a sense. Okay, they both knock each other out. Tamari destroys Tenten. Shikamaru wins his fight. Kiba immediately loses his fight to Naruto. Not even a challenge. What happens is Sasuke, he easily takes the sound ninja up because he's not limited to the curse mark. The curse mark is not limiting him. And we'll find out reason why is because of the Hashirama cells within Sasuke's body that's forcing the curse mark to take its time integrating into his body. And so as Sasuke gets his own form of gratification in a sense, with that what happens is Naruto and them continue on with the Chunin exams. What I mean by that is Sasuke himself. Sasuke takes up the sound ninja like it was nothing. Like it was his job. Okay? And so after the Chunin exams, even after Neji beats Hinata, the end of the Chunin exams relatively goes the same up until the point where everyone gets individualized. Sakura lost technically to with Tenten, so she's not going to be having no moment where she is being trained continuously. However, Sasuke is being trained by Danzo and Kakashi. Kakashi wants to train Sasuke even more, but what happens is Kakashi can't keep up with Sasuke at the present time. His body is still adapting to the Hashirama cells in his body. Like he doesn't know how to utilize it without over stimulating him stuff and making him like prone to danger. Like he got warnings to how to do things with his new abilities just to watch out. And so Kakashi takes the graphs a little bit slowly. His abilities are a little bit slower now, and so he doesn't teach Sasuke as much as he should. But he gives Sasuke the principles of the Jidori. Sasuke already knows how to activate lightning chakra, and he begins to amplify it. Danzo teaches Sasuke even in depthly, while he gets other shinobi to teach Sasuke even in depthly. And not only that, when Sasuke wasn't looking, Danzo removed the seal that Naruto placed on Sasuke's curse seal, and he amplified it even more using his own seal. Danzo studied it and tells Sasuke that it'll be difficult, but he believes he can remove that. So Sasuke over the next month he trains with Kakashi for a bit and then stops training with him all entirely and focuses with Root and Danzo. And so Sasuke in all regards becomes really, really powerful over this month, okay, compared to his canon counterpart and compared to a lot of Genin and tunings over this time period, okay. Now when it comes to Naruto, because Naruto himself is in a field of his own and he necessarily doesn't need to train to beat Neji, Naruto still has goals in mind, things he wants to do. He has this well himself where he needs to learn a lot to gain more knowledge. He just needs to gain more knowledge. The idea is knowledge is power, and he got to learn that all of a sudden. He saved Sasuke. He was able to learn everything Kakashi told him to learn, and now Naruto is more confident with everything he does. His appearance has changed with everyone. He knows he acts properly around females. He cleans his house, eats food. He's still an idiot like Naruto would be. However, he is more proper, more standardized towards Minato styles, but really confident like Kushina, hard out confident. And so Naruto begins to really unravel as an actual character. Now it's pointless giving Ibisu Sensei Naruto in a sensei. And so in regards to that, Naruto goes around trying to figure out what he can do. The Tsurokage was probably about to train Naruto, but what happens is a certain someone come into the village. A certain someone that needed to come into the village, to be honest. And Naruto notices him. Naruto walks past, and as he's walking past, he sees him. He's like, huh? What's that man doing? At first Naruto's like, he's pervy guy doing over there. Instead of yelling now, hey pervy old man, Naruto walks over. You know this is the woman's bathhouse, right? And what happens is Jiraiya's like, yeah I know, shh, it's getting good. Naruto slaps Jiraiya in the back of the head. Naruto goes, you're just being a perv right now. Jiraiya gets up in such an angry mode. But when Jiraiya looks at Naruto, he instantly sees Minato and Kushina and Naruto at the same exact time. And Jiraiya stops, he goes, you're pretty sprightly, kid. Have the guts to do it to me? And Naruto goes, so let me guess, white hair, red markings over your eyes. Yep, you dressed really weird. I'm guessing you're Jiraiya, the Sage Toad of Mount Miyaboku, right? And Jiraiya goes, correction, I'm the Toad Sage Jiraiya of Mount Miyaboku. Naruto goes, Toad Sage. Alright. Wow, it's quite incredible to meet you. And Jiraiya goes, I'm quite amazed that you actually know who I am. Naruto states, well, I read all your books, makeout tactics so far, and to be honest, they put drab. Jiraiya instantly hits a heart, stab in his heart, and Naruto goes, interesting. You're Jiraiya, the legendary Sani, right? And he goes, yes. Naruto goes, I fought a legendary Sani before, and I can tell you right now, he was the most powerful person I ever fought. And Jiraiya's like, what are you saying? And Naruto goes, I believe I fought Orochimaru. And Jiraiya looks right at Naruto. Well, he's quite bewildered. He's like, huh? Naruto goes, yeah. And as Naruto looks, he goes, and if Orochimaru was that powerful, I can only imagine how powerful you are. Now, Jiraiya's not an idiot, okay? He learned everything what Naruto's been up to, and he even learned how Naruto saved Sasuke's life. Because, like, everyone in the village read how Naruto did that, and it blows their mind, you know? It's still called the Great Naruto Bridge, but, yeah. Naruto in himself is just extremely different than what he is in canon. And Naruto just simply asks Jiraiya, since you are here, do you want to train? And Jiraiya goes, you think it's that easy for you to ask me you want to train? Naruto goes, yeah, why not? A simple question. I ask you, Jiraiya Sensei, can you please train me? Naruto bows his head. Jiraiya's actually taken off guard. He goes, alright, tell you what, if you're able to catch me, then I'll train you. But you gotta be able to catch me and grab me. Two things. And Naruto goes, alright then. Should I give you a head start, old man? And Jiraiya looks right at Naruto, and Naruto smiles, because Naruto knows what he's doing, okay? He knows exactly what he's biting at Jiraiya, making sure that Jiraiya knows that if he's going to make him go through it, Naruto's going to have his own fun too. And so Jiraiya smiles and he instantly takes off, thinking that he's going to get away. And he goes to hide, and Naruto's sitting on top of the tree right next to him. He goes, you know how easy this is for me? And Jiraiya's like, huh? He disappears again, and he sees Naruto sitting right in front of him. Every time Jiraiya goes past tree after tree after tree, Naruto appears out of nowhere, and it makes Jiraiya nostalgic, knowing that, because that's pretty much Minato. But Jiraiya's never seen on this scale, and then Naruto begins to smile and goes, alright then, let me try something. Naruto instantly revs himself up, and starts to jump between trees. And when I mean jump between trees, like so fast that he makes after images that are hard after images, and he tells Jiraiya, it's pointless trying to run past me because I'm going to be everywhere and I'm going to find you. And Jiraiya goes, is that right? Well then you missed one fundamental flaw in this plan of yours, Naruto. And Naruto says, what is that? And he goes, I was never here in the first place. Boom, Jiraiya disappears. Naruto smiles and he goes, you really think you're going to get away? Naruto stops the after image ability. Naruto focuses and he goes, alright then, let's see how Naruto gives him a timer. 10 seconds. 3, 2, 1. Naruto takes a step and he bolts right around the entire village. Jiraiya is walking towards back to the bathhouse where he was originally found. And as he gets there, Naruto's already appeared. Then he goes, found you. And Jiraiya smiles and he goes, you're something else there, kid. I tell you what. Naruto's like, he goes, yeah. But one thing though, Jiraiya says, I'm really hungry though, and Jiraiya smiles. And so what happens is Naruto begins to eat some food. And Jiraiya looks at Naruto and goes, you're really something else. Okay then, I got a test for you. But give me some time. And Naruto's like, are you gonna look at some bathhouse? What is it for anyway? And he goes, research. Naruto looks at him like, oh my gosh, do I really? And he goes, I got some research for you then. Naruto does a sexy jutsu and drops Jiraiya. He agrees to train Naruto. And so what happens is Naruto and Jiraiya go out, and Jiraiya goes, can you walk on water? And Naruto goes, yeah, I can even run on water. And Jiraiya goes, oh, well, yeah, cool. And he goes, what about walk on trees? Naruto goes, yep. Naruto shows the plethora of techniques that he knows he can do. Even wind style, he gets to the point where he can use wind style chakra really well. But when Jiraiya sees the lightning chakra, he notices that the lightning that Naruto generates is not a natural lightning that comes within his body. It looks like, from Jiraiya's perspective, it's generated out of empty space. The moment Naruto begins to move, the lightning appears. Actually, and then this is where Jiraiya goes, so it's a reactive ability, natural within himself. Much more advanced version to what Minato had. Jiraiya's really counteracting and looking at it properly like, whoa, interesting. And so what goes down is Naruto begins to, in a sense, not train with taijutsu, but he begins to train with Jiraiya, pushing out more chakra. And Jiraiya goes, are you able to tap into the Nine-Tails chakra? Naruto goes, in a manner, yes, but it has to come into a form of agreement. And Jiraiya goes, an agreement? He goes, yeah, I just can't willingly just rip out the Nine-Tails chakra without actually asking the Nine-Tails, can I use some of its chakra? And not only that, I have to use my abilities to pull down an extra layer of protection to allow the Nine-Tails chakra to come through. And Jiraiya's like, interesting. Are you able to do it now? Naruto goes, I could ask. Naruto goes into his mindscape. And as he goes into his mindscape, Jiraiya kicks Naruto straight off the side of the what's it called, area. And Naruto falls down the hill. And Jiraiya goes, trial by fire, kid. And Naruto goes, what the hell? What is this meant to prove? And Jiraiya realizes that he actually skipped the page. He didn't actually teach Naruto the summoning jutsu. And as Naruto's falling, he's like, what the hell? And as he's falling down, the Nine-Tails is like, think about it, kid. What are you gonna do? And Naruto goes, I need your chakra. And goes, and what's it gonna help? What kind of jutsu do you have to save yourself? Naruto's like, jutsu. Save myself. As Naruto looks down, he looks at his hands, and he realizes, oh, alright. Naruto begins to make tornadoes with his hands. And in doing so, Naruto pushes himself up. And bear in mind, this is him using his wind style, well, not wind style, his own hand momentum, like how Might Guy does that, his attack, and it pretty much ignites the air due to the speed of his hand movements. Same kind of thing Naruto's doing a tornado form, like he's spinning his hand around, and in doing so, it made a form of hover effect to stop Naruto's fall, and Naruto was able to push himself towards the hill, the wall, and as Naruto touches the wall, he instantly looks up and speed blitzes the entire wall, breaking half the spikes, and as Naruto gets to the top, Jiraiya goes, oh, you did really well. I didn't expect that from you. Naruto's like, you didn't expect? And at first Naruto was going to get angry, and Naruto realizes, well, I got out then, Jiraiya Sensei. What is it you wanted me to do? Me and the Nine-Tails already talked, and yes, he would give me some chakra. And Jiraiya's like, yeah, I kind of skipped the situation there, Naruto. And Naruto's like, what did you skip? He goes, I forgot to teach you the summoning jutsu. I was meant to teach you that first, and then force you into that gap. Naruto's like, oh my gosh, you are my sensei? And Jiraiya laughs, and he goes, well, you're all good. You're just like a father anyway. Naruto goes, you knew my father? And he goes, well, of course I did. He was my student after all, Naruto. Naruto's eyes open up, and it just gathers to him. He's like, whoa. And it went full circle on him. Naruto smiles, And so, for the next couple of hours, Naruto begins to practice fully the summoning jutsu. And when I mean practice summoning, like he summons Gamabunta on the second go, and he pretty much has to hold on for a while. But Naruto easily outpaces Gamabunta when it comes to keeping on him. And Gamabunta agrees to become Naruto's summoning toad. And that's all within the first day of Naruto training. So he's got so much more to do. Naruto shows Jiraiya that he can do the multi-shadow clone jutsu and understand the basis of the multi-shadow clone and its purpose. Naruto also shows that he's getting to the point where he can understand change in chakra nature, wind chakra nature. And not only that, Naruto is really in depth with chakra control due to the fact that he's different when it comes to his chakra control, only for the fact that the Nine-Tails chakra doesn't interfere with his chakra flow at all no more. In fact, Naruto has to pull the barrier between the two to allow the Nine-Tails chakra to flood into Naruto. So there's that. And so Naruto's chakra control is pretty good. And so when Jiraiya realizes that Naruto's passed up all the simple steps, he realizes that he has no other choice but to teach Naruto the flying Raijin, no. Teach Naruto the Rasengan. When Naruto goes to Rasengan, and he shows him, Naruto can't believe it, and when he hits the Rasengan into a tree, Naruto can't believe how awesome it is. And Naruto and Jiraiya train non-stop. Naruto takes a while though, because he doesn't use a shadow clone at first, and then he realizes after he pops the water balloon with one hand, Naruto realizes what he needs to do. Because he gained the experience of doing that, he wants to make sure next time it doesn't take him a whole couple of hours to do so. So what happens is Naruto does a multi-shadow clone jutsu, makes 100 of them shadow clones, grab 100 water balloons, and Naruto begins to practice by himself non-stop. Instead of using the shadow clone to help make the Rasengan, Naruto practices and forces it. And when all 100 Naruto shadow clones pop their water balloons, Naruto releases the jutsu, he collapses, but he easily passed the first step. Easy. When it does the rubber ball step, that actually finishes much faster than it would normally do in canon. Naruto was able to even blow past that form as well, to the point where all 100 was able to do so. And this is when Jiraiya tells Naruto about compressing and rotating. And so Naruto begins to store, compress, and rotate Rasengan. And at first, like his first week, he's able to make a tiny Rasengan, much akin to Boruto's, but no Chakra Nation added to nothing, just a normal miniature Rasengan. But when Jiraiya sees it, it kind of stumps him. He goes, "It took me a long time to learn how to do this, Naruto." and Naruto's getting it. And so Naruto, for the next month or so, he mastered the Rasengan and a lot of other jutsus that Jiraiya is willing to teach Naruto, because Naruto is a fiend for it. He's a fiend for information. He learns all of Jiraiya's stuff before the end, well, practically nearly all of Jiraiya's stuff before the end of the 1 month training gap. Naruto understands exactly everything, and so it wasn't that Naruto made a lot of gains. He gained a new connection, new jutsu, and him and himself, his own strength and speed is starting to increase even more. And so when it comes to the fated day of the Chunin exams, what ends up going down is Sasuke's already there early. He's waiting in the immediate stands. As he waits in the stands, he sees Naruto come. Naruto goes, "Sasuke?" Sasuke's gone quiet again. Naruto turns his head and he goes, "Oh, you're back to being that Sasuke again." "Oh, alright." Naruto smiles. "Well, good luck with your fight then, Sasuke." Naruto walks past Sasuke. And as he walks past Sasuke, Sasuke turns back to Naruto and quietly states to Naruto, "I will see you in the finals, Naruto." Naruto smiles, understanding that what Sasuke actually implies. Naruto goes, "Well, of course, you will." Naruto looks at Sasuke, both of them pretty much catch each other on a stare. And then Naruto walks over to sit down, and as he does so, everyone else starts to eventually appear into the stadium. Now, as everyone starts to come into the tournament where everyone prepares for the final part of the Chunin exams, everyone's fight goes relative. Naruto asks if Danzo can use his influence to make his fight with Gaara go a little bit later. He wants to see Naruto's progress before his own. And so Danzo talks to the third Hokage, and because of the agreement between the third Hokage and Danzo, the third Hokage allows Gaara and Sasuke to be one of the last fights. And so what goes down is Sasuke sits on a podium, and what happens is, when it comes to Naruto vs Neji, this is where things dramatically change. In a massive way. Poor Neji. Naruto lands down and he looks at Neji. Neji looks at Naruto, and Naruto tells Neji, "I'm looking forward to a good fight, Neji, despite what you did to Hinata." And Neji goes, "It just shows how weak she was." Naruto goes, "It just shows how weak she was. You have no remorse, do you?" "None whatsoever, right, Neji?" Neji goes, "Why? I'm only the branch family. I'm second, I'm nothing. And I'll be nothing, just like how my father was." Naruto goes, "Nothing. If I stand corrected, you're alive, right? Meaning, even though your father may not be here, you're living his will, right?" Neji goes, "What the hell do you know about what comes to parents? You had no parents." Naruto goes, "That's very true," and he walks over to Neji. "But just looking at how you speak and how you indoctrinate yourself, it obviously shows that it's fundamental in the Hyuga." And what happens is Neji gets really angry at Naruto and goes, "Puh, like you even know anything, Naruto." Neji goes, "Come now, let's see how your super speed versus my Hyuga ability. And note, I will catch you, and I will." And Naruto goes, "What, kill me? Alright then." Naruto takes his hands away from the sides. "I'm ready for you, Neji. Just note, after the fight between me and you, I'll show you what kind of destiny shows what destiny is. And not only that, Neji, after this fight, I will change the Hyuga way." "No, not just Hyuga, Konoha in general. Hell, I'll even like to help save the world. Neji looks at Naruto, optimistic fool. And as Neji and Naruto begin, the protest says, "Begin!" And as Naruto and Neji square off, Naruto instantly disappears and appears right by Neji. He throws a kick, but luckily Neji had his Byakugan activated and he turns to catch Naruto's kick. And he thinks he's about to block one of Naruto's pressure points. As he goes to hit Naruto's leg, his hand goes right through. He said, "What the?" He didn't realize that he stopped the kick, but then Naruto left the after image. And then Naruto kept doing it, he kept doing multiple Naruto's just going through all his attack, and Neji's trying to just even attack or block or do something. But every time Naruto gets close, Neji is able to stop the attack. But every time he goes to throw a hit, he'll even throw a block that pushes Naruto away. It doesn't work. Neji can't do nothing. Naruto's just continuously like a blur to him. And then Naruto walks over to Neji. And Neji's like looking at Naruto and he goes, "I must admit, your abilities are quite, but I'm just going easy on you." Neji goes into his 8 trigram stance and Naruto goes, "Interesting. I've read about this. This is the Hyuga 64 palms jutsu, right? Pretty much you block 64 parts of chakra points in my body. Am I correct there, Neji?" Neji goes, "Sounds so smug." And Naruto goes, "Alright then, let's test it." Naruto walks right in, Neji instantly gets in position, Naruto goes, "Begin." Neji instantly hits Naruto once, Naruto stops it, and then Neji goes twice, and as he keeps rotating, he gets to 32, and then after 32 he gets to 64. On the 64th punch, Naruto puts his hand down and he instantly punches Neji's palm, stopping Neji from getting, pretty much damaging Neji's arm. As Naruto hits Neji's arm, it actually pushes him back. Neji looks at his hand and it's actually damaged. And Naruto looks at his hand and he blows the dust off what Neji tried to hit. And everyone's watching, they're like, "Wow, they're quite amazed at it." And knowing that, Hiyashi can't believe that Naruto is just really schooling Neji like this. Like, this kid's able to do that. Yeah, granted his father's the 4th Hokage, but this kid. Naruto looks right at Hinata and gives her a thumbs up, stating, "I got this." Hinata smiles at Naruto. Naruto turns right back at Neji. Neji gets angry and Naruto goes, And Naruto chucks a kunai. Neji hits the kunai. Naruto goes, "Let's see how good you really are." He grabs multiple kunai shuriken and he runs around them, chucking them all around. And Naruto using like her shuriken curving jutsu, making all the shurikens spin around and go around Neji multiple times. And Neji has to push them, block them away. Naruto using her super speed to also increase the velocity of the shurikens to the point where Neji gets cut twice. But then this is when Neji gets desperate and starts to do a rotation. When he does the rotation, Naruto stands there and goes, "There it is, the rotation." Naruto goes, "I want to see if your compressed rotation is stronger than mine." Naruto goes, "Rasengan!" Boom! Rasengan explodes into his hand, pops up out of nowhere. And as everyone sees this, they're like, Kakashi's like, "Naruto learnt the Rasengan." And that Neji's like, "What?" Naruto, let's see if your rotation is more powerful than mine." Naruto steps back, but Naruto doesn't realize as he's powering up his Rasengan, he doesn't realize he's putting some of the Speed Force abilities in, and is making like a yellow arc around the Rasengan, and as it spins, the yellow Speed Force energy is reacting with it, spinning, accelerating the rotation, and Naruto goes, "Catch!" He instantly takes off, and Neji, he begins his rotation knowing that he can't react to Naruto fast enough. So he begins at the moment he knows that Naruto has moved, and as he begins to spin, Naruto slows himself down enough for him to hit the Rasengan on Neji's rotation. And as Naruto hits the Rasengan, Neji begins to spin, trying to make keep the chakra flow in the rotation. But unfortunately for Neji, Naruto's Speed Force enhanced Rasengan counteracts Neji's rotation immediately. And as Naruto deactivates it and breaks Neji's rotation, Naruto goes, "Let's give this trigame's attack a turn." Neji goes, "What?" And then Naruto, memorizing all Neji's movements, and begins to attack Neji, but not in the same fashion or faux pas or as good as Neji does. But Naruto begins to attack Neji, doing the same principles, but just punching him, all the way till he gets to the point where he does 64 punches to Neji. Neji couldn't see like at least any of them. Like he tried to, but Naruto just decimated him. And then when Naruto does 64 punch, boom, punches Neji right in the face. Sends Neji flying. Neji was stunned in the spot on the 63rd punch. Naruto instantly moved back and blitzed forward straight away and punches Neji. He craters right into the wall. And Neji's like, he's stunned. Everyone's looking at Neji. The distance between Naruto punching Neji is extreme. Naruto punched him from his side, and Neji managed to get all the way to the other side of the arena and cratered into the wall. and it just shows the power of Naruto. When Orochimaru sees this, he knows too well Naruto's power, which is incredible for a kid. And so as Naruto walks over, he states the same thing. He uses his almighty gift, known as the Talk No Jutsu, and he manages to convince Neji to change his ways, in a sense. And for that faux pas, or that situation, the Hyuga situation goes relative to canon, okay? Now, everyone else's fights go the same. Shikamaru and all that, all the way up to the point when the last fighters are going to be Gaara and Sasuke. Naruto goes, "Good luck there, Sasuke." Sasuke smiles and goes, "Watch the show, Naruto." Sasuke jumps down, and by this time Kakashi has fully recovered from the what's it called, Hashirama implants on his body. Bear in mind, he didn't get the same grace as Sasuke did over a period of time, so Kakashi needs his it took time for his body to adapt to it, much more than Sasuke's. But what happens, as Kakashi being at full strength again, if not more, he sits down and talks to Naruto. Them. He tells Naruto he's proud of him even mastering the Rasengan. That would have been difficult in itself. Naruto smiles and thanks Kakashi, and he goes, "How do you think this fight's gonna go?" Naruto states, "Judging by who this person is, the 4th Kazekage's son," and Kakashi goes, "Yeah," and goes, "Is he like me?" And Kakashi looks at Naruto and goes, "What do you mean?" He goes, "For some reason, I hear the tail beast within me, the Nine Tails, and it's more like that person screams the opposite." And Kakashi goes, "He has no idea. It's not for him to actually understand." And Naruto goes, "I'll ponder this some more." And so as Naruto, Kakashi and Sakura catch up and discuss things, Sasuke's in the arena with Gaara. Gaara and Sasuke look at each other. Sasuke smiles and goes, "I look forward to this. You may have almost died fighting Rock Lee, but just let me just state, at the time, I was as fast as that kid. Now, only one person's faster than me. For now." Sasuke instantly emits some lightning chakra to the point where he starts to generate a mini lightning cloak, much like the Raikage's. And when Gaara sees this, he gets instantly into a defensive position. And right away, Sasuke blitzes Gaara, pretty much like a Rock Lee does, but more as a sense of breaking right through Gaara's attack and punching him in the face. So this Sasuke is faster than Rock Lee, even when Rock Lee opens the 3rd gate. And Sasuke has his Sharingan activated. Bear in mind now Sasuke has 3 Tomos now. It was forcefully activated using the Hashirama cell implants thanks to Danzo. So Sasuke's in a different sense, okay, different power. When Naruto and Kakashi notice that Sasuke's eyes have changed, Kakashi knows that Danzo has really done a number on Sasuke. But it also works himself, so he can't complain. And so as Sasuke begins to fight, battle, push himself, Gaara can't do nothing. Like he's trying to use the sand to defend himself, but what can they do? No, Sasuke lightning cloak bursts right through it, and he's able to tap Gaara and stun him to the point where he gets injured. Yeah, no, Gaara is pretty much pushing the back foot straight away in his attack. So Sasuke, utilizing his newly found massive amounts of chakra, he's able to jump in there and shoot like 10 fireball jutsus, jump back on the ground, blitz the ground again, jump behind Gaara and does like his own form of lightning blade. He didn't learn it fully from Kakashi, but he learned about the changes his chakra nature and making lightning. Lightning emits from his hand. Sasuke runs over and hits Gaara right in the back. And hitting Gaara right in the back, lightning spreads through Gaara's body. He brings a scream in absolute pain. Sasuke punches Gaara, and as he punches Gaara right up in the air, his sand begins to break and brittle. And then all those fireball jutsus that he released hits Gaara at once, and they explode. And Gaara hits the ground, forming a huge crater. Sasuke jumps back all the way up top of the arena, back on the normal side, and he goes, "I remember Kakashi Sensei telling me to do it this way." Kakashi does a lightning blade. Sasuke does a lightning blade, but it looks right at Gaara. And as he looks at Gaara, Sasuke focuses and he activates the curse mark on his back. But the curse mark spreads differently this time. It spreads more like a Danzo kind of curse mark, or sealing jutsu. It's pretty similar to that. And as it spread across Sasuke's body, his eyes stay the same, but his power dramatically increases. Lightning chakra turns from blue to massive black lightning, and Sasuke powers it up. Kakashi's like, "What the?" And then Sasuke runs across the ground, scraping half the wall with him. And as he runs down, he rushes at Gaara, and he's about to throw the lightning blade right at Gaara, killing him. But what ends up happening, Gaara manages to see Sasuke, and he pretty much screams for Shikaku to come out. Shikaku explodes out and smacks Sasuke away, sending him flying right through the arena. And as Sasuke gets sent flying, like he's like riding in midair, and he knows if he falls down, it's not going to be in a nice form. And so Sasuke focuses, and he forces himself to transform into his curse mark at stage 2. And he has the normal same wings and everything like that, but Sasuke himself manages to recover. He slows himself down and transforms back into curse mark level 1, I guess, and lands back in the arena. He looks around him, and this is Shikaku, partial transform Gaara. They all see it. Naruto goes, "What the?" And this is when everyone's like, "That's the Tanuki, that's the One Tails." And everyone starts to notice that this is when the Konoha Crush immediately begins. A Genjutsu is placed around everyone. Naruto notices, so does Sakura. And what goes down is Kakashi immediately engages with Kabuto. But this time Kakashi is way more enhanced and stronger now. He just has not been able to utilize his skills for a while. This is his first proper test. And as he fights Kabuto, he's kind of rusty and he gets caught off guard, and Kabuto cuts Kakashi right across the shoulder. And as Kakashi grabs his arm, he looks back at his arm and he realizes, what the? His arm begins to heal. And Kakashi goes, he smiles and in his own mind he thanks Danzo for this. Kakashi immediately disappears and begins to fight. He tries to track Kabuto, but Kabuto manages to narrowly escape. But this is when the Konoha Crush begins and all the village gets attacked by sound and sand shinobi. And so that goes on. But with Gaara in the middle, the third Hokage goes, what the hell's the meaning of this? Orochimaru springs out to action, wraps up the third Hokage and puts 2 kunais down to his throat. He jumps the third Hokage on top of the building, to which he uses the 4 sound ninja to make a purple barrier. In doing so, locking the third Hokage in with him. And as that goes down, Naruto's looking at everything and he's trying to conclude the best solution. Naruto knows he can help end this fight, but at the same time, the Nine Tails are screaming to want to fight the One Tails. And so Naruto's left in a hard place. And then Naruto slaps himself immediately and goes, "It's not hard." Naruto instantly does multi-shadow clone jutsu, makes 1,000 shadow clones, and he utilizing his ability to end the speed force, all those thousands of shadow clones rush out and clean up the entire mess, or as much mess as they can. And they do really well. Naruto does really well. Bear in mind, this Naruto is faster than his dad, and now he's definitely top tier Jonin level. Thanks to the teachings from Jiraiya, Naruto learned a multitude of powers, even combination jutsus like summoning and combining the abilities. Combinations, yeah. So Naruto is really in depth with all of Jiraiya's training at this point, so he's quite unorthodox and very powerful. And so as Naruto begins to pretty much dismantle the Konoha Crush in a sense, Naruto managed to, the real Naruto drops down, Gaara is partially transforming, and Naruto goes, "This is a rare opportunity to see what I actually can do." Naruto in his mindscape tells the Nine Tails, "Are you ready?" The Nine Tails smiles and hears Naruto goes, "You're actually gonna let me out, Naruto?" And Naruto goes, "Not let you out. However," Naruto pulls the barrier down. "Doesn't mean I can't allow you to influence me in this fight, at least." The Nine Tails smiles and goes, "Good enough for me." The Nine Tails floods Naruto with Chakra, because Kurama has his own hatred towards the One Tails. So what ends up going down, he gives Chakra to Naruto. Naruto explodes into his Nine Tails Chakra cloak, and then as Naruto does so, what goes down is the lightning goes from yellow to red, and as he goes red, Naruto begins to vibrate again, and he starts to become like a form of blur. And as Naruto opens his eyes are full on red now, full on blitz red. And as Gaara looks at Naruto, and Naruto standing there at full power, well, not full power, just in a more reverse flash type of stance, they both square off 2 Jinchuriki, ready to battle. And that's where we're going to leave this one off, guys. I hope you guys like this. Please like and subscribe, leave your comments down below. And I hope you guys follow me on my other 2 channels, guys. Bear in mind, I'll be making the next part tomorrow. And so, yeah. So yet again, thank you, my brave Shadow ThunderGod, for this one off. And I hope you enjoy how it's going so far. And for the rest of you guys, I hope you guys all take care of yourselves, okay? But as usual, guys, this is Dr. Kahu saying peace.